Okay, this is Don N5SKT, and today I'm going to talk to you a bit about 12 volt, or the 12 volt shack, or where I'm heading with a 12 volt shack. So I wanted to start with giving you a bit of a rundown on Intel architecture, or Intel systems. So recently I've started trying to find the N305 systems. They are powerful enough to do, because they are basically, as this here shows, they are basically a Core i3 as opposed to a Celeron, and I'll get to the Celerons in a minute. But as opposed to the Celerons, now yes, you're going to pay more. I did order this one. I do have it. It works well. And I believe we go here. I can't remember where. I think you'll have to forgive me because that's not. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. So if you look at this right here, DC 12 volts, that's the important part of it. So this is the fastest 12 volt processor I can find. There's a reason why I run the faster 12 volt processors, and for me it's because of Thetis. Now some of you know I run an Apache Labs Onin and a Hermes Lite. The Hermes Lite does not require this. The Onin does, because I do so much with the PC. And this will run the Onin very well. The problem I run into, though, really, I'm running now on my Onin, I'm running a Core i7. I don't know if I'll be able to get away from it because I just have too many things going on. So I'm not really doing that. I don't know, for some reason. Yeah. Sorry about that. My UPS just kicked off and then came back on. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but it's back running again. So everything will be coming back on in a second. Not this machine, because it's on a different power source. So anyway, so the Thetis software really runs and can chew up a lot of PC resources when you're dealing with diversity reception and a lot of the other functionality in it. The Hermes doesn't do diversity. It doesn't require that. I have not needed, even when I'm running a system where I'm running the Hermes and the Hermes and WSJTX, and I'm running remote desktop on it, I have not had any issues with it running slow or chewing up the CPU. Thetis has on the bottom of it a very good display of the type of the amount of power that it's running, and so running the 12 volt shack for me has been something that I've wanted to do to try to get my noise floor down. And so anyway, with Thetis, I'm doing it on right now. I'm running a N6000, but let's get to that in a minute. So this is the N305. As you can tell, this is actually a pretty good machine. It's first of all, I've got two mini forum systems in from this manufacturer, and they do work well. I've had one 6 to 9 months now, I would say, and it's working well. The mini form that I have that I've run for 6 to 9 months is a Core i5, and I bought that for a completely different reason. It's not one that I'm going to end up using in my shack. I'll probably replace it eventually with one of these, but it's served me well. And by the way, when I bought that one, I was not going for 12 volt. I didn't even know 12 volt was available at that time. The only thing I had heard about was the Jankopotamus, and I'll go over that in a minute, and as to why that, to me, if I can find a laptop with an N305 in it that runs 12 volts, I will, consider it. However, so far, all of the N305s that I've found are 19 volt. And that's because of the monitors and other things that they're putting in there that I don't really particularly care for. But let's keep going. So this is the N305 processor. The other one that I've found that's 12 volts. This is a Core i3. Let me go back to this guy. I think on here it'll tell you. So here it is. This is the difference. So here, the N305 is 8 cores, 8 threads. And so therefore, you're getting 8 cores running somewhere around the 3.2 gigahertz range, 3.2 to 3.7 gigahertz. I don't remember if this one says what the processor speed is. It doesn't really say. It's just comparing it. So you can see here in this chart that the N305 is faster than the N100. And we'll get to the N100 in a second. There's nothing wrong with it, by the way. The N100, I mean. And in fact, they have a 100 version of this one also. And you can see there's a big price drop. And anyway, we'll get to the pricing in a minute. These things are going to be more expensive. I'm doing this, by the way, after Black Friday, after Cyber Mondays ended, so that you can see a more realistic price. If I'd done it last week, some of these were on sale, not all of them. They're still pretty new on the market, I would say, but maybe not. I don't know. But these are quite nice machines, and I think they're there. This is what you're going to go for if you're I got to have a Core i7 type guy who needs, the biggest, fastest thing. This is going to be the biggest, fastest that I've found so far on 12 volts. So now going to the N100s. Here are the N100s. There's many of them. I particularly like B-Link, and you can see B-Link's going to be quite a bit more expensive. I have one of these GM Techs. It worked pretty well. The nice thing about these is you look at this price and there's a silly coupon on it. So when you come over here and look, first of all, I like their form factor. They're pretty small. And then you can click this and you get $20 off of that. So you're buying it for, what is that, $159 instead of $199. This to me is a nice form factor, but there's plenty of them out here. The other thing is that I failed to mention on the other one too, but most of them have this. They'll have the dual LANs on them, and those LAN connections. Again, if you're running a Hermes or something like that. The Hermes is, actually this one's pretty neat too. The Hermes uses basically, you can take it and directly connect it into the back of this through a USB cable, a Ethernet cable. And then you're directly talking to the PC, so there's nothing between you and it. And then you have this second connector here that you can plug your network into and run your network off of. That helps the performance of the deal of the entire radio system. The reason that's important is that on the on-install radios have do most of their processing of the signal inside the PC. So what you're doing is you're transferring data from the radio into the PC at a rather rapid rate, and it has more to do with what you're receiving than what you're transmitting, or say your audio. It has more to do with the getting all of that data that the radio is capable of pulling in, getting that down into your PC so it can be processed further. And that is what Thetis does. That's the difference between, say, an Onin and a Flex radio, where the Flex does a lot of that processing inside the radio and then passes the stream, the information that's needed to display that information into the radio. And so it means that the Flex will do a better job, if you will, remotely. If you're remoting your Thetis software and you're remoting that display, then certainly there's no difference between the two. But if you do like I do and you bring up Smart SDR from, say, the computer I'm recording this on, and then my Flex is sitting 60 miles away, well, then sure, the Flex is going to be a better system at doing that, because it's only transmitting what it needs to transmit to here to give me the display. And then when I'm talking or transmitting, it's sending that information back to the radio for putting out over the air. So there's less information, if you will, with a Flex radio transmitting its data to the PC for, processing and display than there is on an Onin. That's the point. So having dual network here gives you a big advantage with an Onin style radio, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. So again, the N100 here would be good for the Hermes Light, that style radio. If you're going to run, say you've got one of the bigger Onins, I would recommend, if you're trying to go to a 12 volt shack, that you get something like the 305. And because, by the way, Thetis takes advantage of having more cores available to it. So anyway, that's my big speech here between, say, getting one of these. Again, see, this one here is $158, and you get to apply a $25 coupon. The reason I like to go over this is, if you get into this price range here, about $130, maybe a little more, $140 or something like that. No, it's less than that. It's $120 some odd dollars. Anyway, if you get into the $125 range or something, you buy a Pi 5, buy the case, get, with the cooling fan and all of that on it, the power supply, and, add, if you're going to add a keyboard and mouse, you might as well honestly have bought one of these, and these are way faster, even the N100s. By the way, this guy here has a pretty good chart comparing these systems. So which is kind of where I was going to go with the whole thing. So the N100, the N305 is about 25% faster, or what did they say? 123% faster. Okay. Than the N100. And then, as you see, the N100s and going down to the 5105s and the 5095s, which are, by the way, Celerons, even down to the 4125. And then we'll get to it in a minute. I'll show you some other. The Jankopotamus actually has, if I'm not mistaken, an N3000 series. So that's why it's even slower than the 4125. So it's just it's the nature of the beast, if you will. There's nothing wrong with the Jankopotamus. It certainly can work and do a good job in the field. But for me, and I've done this. When I went to Huntsville for the Huntsville Hamfest, I took with me actually two of these NUC styles and or mini PCs and a small keyboard and mouse, and I'll show you the in a second the keyboard I was using, and it works well. Also the monitor, but we'll get to that. So, and I should probably speed this up. So anyway, this is the differences in the various processors, less the N305. The N305 is much faster than the N100. But there's a cost to that. Here I pulled up the B-Links. I really like the B-Links. I think a lot of us have used these. A lot of them have the $20 coupon, but again, you're going to pay slightly more for them. But, again, I like them. There's some in here. I thought I saw one with a really small form factor. So that's the thing about B-Link, is they have so darn many of the different ones, and they're all N100s. What's going to happen is some of them are going to have more memory. This one's up to 3.4 gigahertz. So again, I'm not going over these specs here about the, I prefer dual LAN. I don't care about how many HDMIs I have, but there are some systems that have up to 3 monitor outs or 3 HDMIs out. Unfortunately, not DisplayPort, but whatever. And so you get, you'll have to go over this, how much RAM and hard disk space. For a ham radio, to me, I've gotten by just fine with 128 gig of disk of SSD. But these are perfectly, if you want more, you can get more. They've got 256, they've got 500. They've got 16 gig of RAM. They got 8 gig of RAM. I have not had any trouble with 8 gig of RAM. And again, one of the things is, say I buy one of these guys, these less expensive ones, and I only get the 8 gig of RAM. See, even this one is, okay, let me do this real quick. And just, that didn't do much. Because I just switched the price from high to low. So you'll see these go up in price and capability, although most of them are 16 gig of RAM and 500 gig of disk space. And you're getting 4 cores and 4 threads up to 3.4 gigahertz. So, I mean, when you get to the more expensive ones, I'm sure there's a difference. I'd have to read it, but I'd have to read through all of this, and I'm not really going to go through that. You're welcome to do it. Pick anything you're interested, in here. But for that, the 305 that I ended up getting was this one. It's unfortunately no longer available, and that is one of the things on the 305s. I am seeing that they are becoming harder and harder to find. So if you're thinking about this, you might want to grab a 305 before they go away. I'm not sure why they're going away, but this one, see, if I'm sitting here on this, it clearly says this is an N305 with 16 gig, I paid $389 for it. That was because it was $400 with a coupon, and there's some specific features I wanted on here. And then if I click on this, well, now I'm at a Celeron. Like, no, that's not equivalent. So I don't know why it's doing that. Good price, but still. So let's just leave it at this. So let me let's see, keyboard. Yeah, yeah. Let's go over here. The so this is an N51 N5000. You're still up in the 159 range. And if you look, they are going to apply a coupon to it, but look at your coupons and see, because again, some of these you're going to get better and better processors. See, getting up to this is 199. I'm not sure that. Again, I didn't go over the N95s because I haven't really messed with them. But here's an N95. It's got a $20 coupon, so you're getting that for $179, not $129. And by the way, I think these coupons only come in if you have a Amazon Prime membership. But I've had one for years, and I just never even think about it. And I'm not sure what this save 5% is. One or more B links. I don't know. Anyway, so they're talking about benchmarks and all kinds of stuff and he's comparing this to the Celeron of the same type. So, and I don't know if, because they're just doing that rather than some of these in 5000s. And let's. By the way, there's a lot of good information about them in here, and somewhere I think I really didn't pull that up. But anyway, we don't need to go over that. What I was going to say is you come down here and you start looking. I think these are it's comparing B links to B links. That's the reason one of these things are all expensive in that range. But the big problem I have with this is, see the N95, it's telling is a Celeron. Again, I believe, let me go back to this N100, pick one, and let's go down here. Yeah, see they're talking about I don't know what a 1250H is, probably a Core i5, but anyway. We look at these and we start comparing these. The price on these doesn't. Well, it says Celeron. I know that's not a Celeron because Intel doesn't. This is a slower Core i3 than the N305. So this is like I'm not sure that you can trust this CPU model stuff. Again, I don't care whether it's a Celeron or not. It's just not. It's not the same. Now the N305 I know is a Core i3. In fact, I believe I pulled up the Intel station on it. Let's see. This is the N305, and I don't remember. There's something either in here or something that it said was where it's a Core i3, but and interesting enough, they don't have okay, here's other machines that you might be interested in. But anyway, well, let's see. Let's go back and see if there's one of these other. Yeah. See, this is where I'm getting i3, because these guys, some of these guys are putting this. Now, this could be another one of those mistakes where they're changing it. I wonder what. No, that's an i5. But anyway, so here's an i3, or here's another one. I don't know if again this looks like the same one. Yeah, this is the same one. Sorry. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. See, some of these are used as appliance routers, and so they're not really PCs. Probably could use them as a PC, but it's more as a router or set up as a router. See, now they're comparing themselves as a router. And yeah, see, here they're saying the CPU model is a Core i3. I'm pretty sure the N100 is a Core i3. It's just that it's 4-thread instead of 8-thread. And that's something I was told, and that may not be correct. So take it with a grain of salt. By the way, you can run Windows or Intel or Windows. Most of these are going to come with Windows 11. And I have not had any issues running either Windows 11 or Windows 95, or sorry, Windows 10. Some of these will have 10, but for the most part. But let's go on, because otherwise this video is going to run for an hour, and I don't really think they'll let me do that. But whatever. So here's the monitors that I'm using. I bought these, and the thing was, I know I did not pay $229 for them. I think they've gotten popular, and they're hitting this. But this is the monitor I had. I applied a $20 coupon to it, and it works very, very well. In fact, it works so well I got another one, and I swear they were about $100 cheaper. I think I paid $129, $159, somewhere in there. But there's a lot of these monitors out there, and man, they are really expensive for that. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, this is the one I have. I know that, but I don't remember. See, this is more what I'm expecting to pay. Now, that's an actual monitor. That's kind of interesting. But anyway, I would go with this one. But the big thing about this one is that it's USB-C powered. So essentially, you can plug in your monitor, or this, when you're going portable, you can plug this into the computer. This is one of those ones where it's got this folding case that comes with it. And I've had a couple of these things, and they don't work very well at all. I had one that I got off of eBay for cheap, and the monitor failed on it. The case that came with it was really good, and it stood up really well, but it fell over. So I bought another one of these off of Amazon, found that the case didn't really set up and hold the monitor up. This one does. So I've had good luck. In fact, I've got one sitting over here in my home office that's been running for a while. So anyway, this would be my recommendation for the monitors. It's called Rodom 4K. I may or may not put links in the description on this. Maybe for the monitor, and maybe for, but I'm not really going to do it for the PCs I'm showing, because these things change so darn much so quickly. It's just better if you go and take a look and find what I'm talking about, or go and take a look on Amazon. Amazon's the place to go to really get it. This is the keyboard I use in the field, and it's quite small. That's about a hand's size, but it's very easy to carry with me. It's basically I believe, yeah, this is a 2.4 gig, and you flip it over, pop off a little tab on the bottom, and there's a little device that you plug into the PC. And Windows and Linux both just go, oh, okay, and the keyboard comes right up. And then you touch the keyboard, and it will basically come on. If you don't touch it for a while, it'll go off. It is USB chargeable. I don't remember if it's USB-C or USB or mini USB. I have not had any. I haven't really paid that much attention to it. Apparently somebody sells a little case for it. One of the reasons I like these things is because of this trackpad that's on the side, which is what they should do with laptops. I am so sick of having a laptop with a touchpad right underneath the keyboard where you bump it every frickin' time you touch it. So, no thanks. and I mean on the laptops. That's one of the reasons I hate laptops. Of course, you can turn that off and buy a mouse and da, 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 and I've not used this thing as a pointer. I didn't even know it did that. So anyway, that's how this works. That's the keyboard I recommend, or one of. I think this is the other one, which is a Bluetooth keyboard. Basically the same thing, but if you've got built-in Bluetooth, this thing will work. But it doesn't come with the little dongle. So there's nothing to plug in. You just have to get your Bluetooth up and get this thing paired, and all of the various things you have to do. Still, they work okay. Again, this has nothing to do with 12 volts. To me, this is for getting it out into the field and carrying it into the field, which I've done. This is this monitor. I bought it the other sometime back. To replace two of my older monitors that have gone out. Ordered it, and lo and behold, it's 12 volts. So you can get a couple of these. The thing that's nice about it is it does this VESA mount. So I didn't even put the stand together. I just mounted it into my stand that I have a monitor stand that holds 4 monitors. Thanks, T.O. But these things went up on it really well, and then now they're 12 volts, so I can literally plug them into my power supply. By the way, that's the whole point of going to 12 volts, is because I can now, I am running Astron power supplies, and which are linear power supplies, so I don't get any noise on them, and I, if I can just, plug everything into those, get rid of the wall warts. I really haven't had that much trouble with wall warts, but the one thing I'm missing is a 12 volt switch, because sorry, I don't believe in wireless, because no matter what, I don't do wireless. I wire. Everything I do is wired. So that's just me. But anyway, so I connect this up, use it as and plug it directly into the power supply. By the way, these run like 2 to 3 amps. Most of the computers are in the 3 amp range. The 305 and the 100s are in the 3 amp range. When you get down to the Celerons, those are going to be down to the 2 amp range. So they are very, very equivalent to a Raspberry Pi. If you look at the Pis, most of those are 2 and 3 amp. Or 2 amp or 3 amp power supplies. So this kind of does pretty much all the same thing. So I'm not sure. I can't remember. Oh yeah, that's right. I just pulled it. Oh, okay. I know why I pulled this up. This is the Celeron stuff. By the way, I do not know what this is. J4105. I assume it's another Celeron. Just doesn't have the N in front of it. But you can see you have N3000s, there's 4000s. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the J is. There's the 5000s. As you do this, you're going to go up in speed and cores. I think in some of these, see, this doesn't even show a core count. I think it's 2 cores. I don't think it's 4, but I'm not sure. I do have one of these. In fact, I think I've got this one. I really like that. It's really flat. But I believe when you click on these, and excuse me for that. Again, it's $109, but you apply a $25 coupon. The thing about this is one of the slowest ones you can get, but it will blow away I would even imagine a Pi 5. They're that much faster. And then let me see. don't know if this has the thing on it. See, they have Wi-Fi. The one thing that's bad about this stupid picture is it doesn't show the back of it and its connectivity. It kind of lists it here, but not really very well. But it's got 4 USB 3.0, a 2 or a Wi-Fi board, and a Bluetooth in it for connectivity. But it's also got Ethernet, but I think it's a single Ethernet on the back of it. So it doesn't really talk about it. And somewhere in here, yeah, there it is. See, 12 volts at 1.5 to 2 amps. So again, you're gonna go down in amperage that you need, but again, these things are faster than a Pi. I really have not. I don't use my Pis very much. I mean, the Pi is definitely there. There is a reason for it if you need the GPIO pins. But I'm thinking anymore, if you're going to buy a Pi and you're going to buy a case and the power supply and all of that, these things here coming in at just like with this one, $109. And then you buy the $25 coupon, you'd be at $70 something. And this thing has the case and the power supply and all that stuff with it. So it's got HDMI, this one has dual HDMI, same as the Pi. So these Celerons are not bad. And so yeah, there's a Core i5, but yeah, whatever. Sure. I don't know why they're even comparing these things. By the way, I'm not talking about the Ryzens because I don't know if the Ryzens are 12 volt. I haven't really looked at them. The ones I have bought are not 12 volt. They're 19 volt. So I don't know. And here's some, quote, similar items. I would not Lenovo, no, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's a Core i5. So again, they're comparing this Celeron to a bunch of Core i5s. That doesn't make sense. Here's an 4020 Celeron. This is also this is an AMD. I don't know it's 12 volts or not. And if you can find the AMDs in 12 volts, I run AMDs as well. And oh yeah, I was going to show you this too. So in the field, when I am doing GPS, I typically use these dongles. Now this one's $33. I don't remember. I don't think I paid that. I think I paid 20 something. But the reason I buy these dongles is you can plug it in, and then you can sit in the shade somewhere and push this little puck out so that it's out somewhere more in the sun or more exposed to the deal. And I find these work well. I have had trouble with the dongles that are just like a USB stick style that you plug it in, and it, like, I think there's one from this GLONASS people. I believe there's one from them that's just a dongle. I don't, like I said, I don't particularly care for the dongles. I use these puck style. I have stuck them on windows and trains and stuff like that and had them work very well. If I'd had a dongle, I don't know how I would have used it in, when it's completely shrouded by metal and the only thing you can do is stick it in the window. Again, just a recommendation, and I believe, let's see, GPS puck. I believe that's how you do it. Yeah, see, here's the puck style. I don't believe that. These are, I think these two right here are, Yeah, this is a puck style for $15. Here's another one. So yeah, they're all over the place. But I just prefer now. Oh man, that one right there. Well, not this particular one. There's another one that yeah, this one here. This thing here, it's $63. It's freaking worth it because I have used this or made a connector for my to plug into the 7100 ICOM 7100, and the 7100 just recognizes it and goes, and it has no problem. The other thing that I found after I bought this, because you see all those wires that are coming out of it, it's essentially USB powered, and then you have the serial connections coming out of it for the NMEA, and then it literally has a 1 PPS. And this is not the video for me to go into GPS. I do GPS commercially and have done for about 5 years, and do it for the telecom industry, and I can tell you how important it is to have that 1 PPS on there. Essentially, you go to a Stratum 0 clock with that. There's ways of doing it. I run my own NTP servers inside my house by doing a GPS with a 1 PPS. Anyway, again, that's a video for another day. Anyway, I hope somebody finds this helpful. I've been wanting to put it out. I have seen videos from Jason, Cam4ACK. I've seen Josh discuss the laptop side of it. I've talked to Josh a little bit about the mini PC style, but I haven't really gone into detail about it. I've talked to Jason, Ham Radio 2.0, about it. I just really like these things, and like the fact that they're available. We're now getting very close to having a shack that we can totally run off our power supplies. Maybe we need to start looking at bigger power supplies. So you look at your radio, it's 30 amp. Maybe you want to get a 40 amp power supply because you're going to plug your monitor and PC into that same power supply and run everything off that one power supply. And if you get a good quiet power supply, then you've got your monitor and everything else that you may or may not, or that you might need for your machine or your radio, all off of one power supply. Anyway, I need to probably cut this video out, or cut it at this point, because I think it's probably getting too long. 73 guys, and I really hope this helps you guys out in some way.